Hello, hello, hello,
hello.
Hi. Yes, we're here to get juicy. Share our soul, reveal ourselves to you. Hello. My name's OnaRay, and I'm with AwakenSex, and I'm so honored and privileged to have my first live interview with this magical being, sister extraordinaire. She's extraordinaire, who I have had the privilege the last 2 weeks to get to know. She's got to know me. And she's got a little taste, and now she's got some fire in her belly. She's on fire.
I feel that way. Lit up and turned on.
I want to share. So who are you? Yeah, first, just to share, I'd like you to introduce yourself. Who are you?
Okay. So I am Kaluna, and I am from Kaluna, Kyoto. I am a public figure. I'm a sound healer, a ceremonialist, and a poet. I work in the realm of psychology. I work in the realm of embodiment and what it means to access our highest potential through sound, meditation, and intimacy.
Intimacy. And I think that's where we're starting to connect deeper with each other. Because I offer 2 powerful workshops. We're in Arcata, California, Humboldt with the redwoods next to the ocean. And I haven't been here. I only visited one time with my mother. And I had a beautiful gift. So Miss Amber Dawn, who we're in her home right now, she's an amazing, amazing human being who just loves people. She's a mother to the world, you know. She's really is a powerful human being. And I met her at the California Tantra Festival, and she invited me here to her home to offer some workshops. So I did a mixed gender alchemy, beautiful gathering for the new moon, this really intense new moon, because Venus is in retrograde, and we're in Scorpio, and square in Pluto, and all these crazy energies, and working into the shadows of how we connect with ourselves, sexually a lot, and our patterns of relationship. And so that was really powerful. And then on Sunday, I did a Tantra workshop of liberation, where we liberated ourselves by really sharing from our heart, being vulnerable about who we are and how we gave our power away. And getting into our animal body.
That's my favorite part.
And so that's what I want to say. So what have you learned from my teachings with OnaRay and AwakenSex? Let's get raw.
What have I learned?
Let's get raw and real.
I've learned that it's safe to really go into those spaces of my primal animal and allow that passion to come out and to be seen in that passion and to be honored in that passion. Felt so alive. Like every cell in my body felt like it lit up with this flame of just... yes, fuck yes, this is what I've been desiring to feel my entire life, and now I'm feeling it. I feel so turned on. And it's not even just necessarily being turned on sexually, it's being turned on from the inside out, where I feel like this light bulb just went off in my mind and illuminated everything in my body and just allowed me to come out. Allowed me to be present fully and to be seen fully in that state of full expression. That is liberating.
Our screen, there it is. It's still recording, right?
Yes.
We just got dark. All right. Whew, soak that in, everybody. Just to fully be expressive in who you are. That's what AwakenSex is all about. And reclaiming what it means to be a sexual human being. And how do we honor this creative potential, this energy. Earlier we were talking about, God, I'm like, passion, fiery energy. It takes passion to create change in your life. You have to come from that place of trust, a place of, of just feeling the fuck yes in your body and giving yourself that permission, the permission slip. And we were having this conversation and this word came up, and you'll know. I love this phrase because you are in a transition. We are all in transitions in our life, but now really a new awareness, a new aha. And with me being here, it's the aha I think has gotten stronger. And there's a term that she called spiritual nunnery. Spiritual nunnery. What the fuck is that?
Spiritual nunnery.
So she is no longer a nun. She doesn't want to be a nun, but she is spiritual.
And sexual.
And
ooh. Am I going to be spanked for saying that?
Ooh.
Maybe.
And that's a video. We actually did do that, but that's a video.
We did do a video of her flogging me.
I flogged her for the first time. Pulled out the sex bag. That's another video. That was... Yeah, and that was powerful. We might have to share that.
We might have to share that.
Spiritual doesn't mean serious.
No, and I was just having this conversation with a dear sister of mine. Why are we so serious? Why do spiritual teachers and leaders need to be a certain way, to act a certain way in order to be deemed spiritual? Why can't we be sexual and sensual while still following the path of spirituality?
That's a deep question. So sit with that. That question is like, they're your womb, and even for the male body, the men who might listen to this, you have an energetic womb, you have this creative potential. We all have kundalini. We all have this energy. Shakti is that kundalini energy that just wants to be unleashed because she wants to say, you are in this human body. Whoa, it is magnetic. And it's just beyond what our limited mind and our egoic mind have to hold on. It keeps us small. And we can be so much bigger than that. So what does it mean? So where are you now, and where was this spiritual nunnery that you felt you had to go through? And it's a journey.
It is a journey.
Yeah.
So to give a little bit of my story, I had experienced sexual trauma when I was a child and as well as in my teen years. And those experiences sort of led me to exploring my sexuality in a very hypersexual way, where I didn't really know my boundaries. I just kind of explored and went with whatever my body's lust wanted, rather than really tuning in with myself and seeing, is this really what I want? Is this gonna be for my highest good or not? I just went with it no matter what, which I learned a lot from that experience. But what happened was there was a lot of shame that had been built up around that hypersexuality as well as the sexual trauma. So I was holding on to baggages of shame around what it meant to be sexual, about what it meant to be a highly curious individual. And when I came into my spirituality, what I noticed was it seemed like I just completely shut off from my sexuality. And I started only really connecting in my upper chakras rather than connecting in my lower chakras. So it would stop at my heart. And so there was this big disconnect from being fully connected and present in my body. So what I noticed was this did create disassociations. And spiritual epiphanies did create disassociations because there wasn't that full channel of energy going through me. And it just kind of stopped. And I didn't allow that energy, those higher frequencies, to drop into my sexual energy at all. So it created this higher self disconnected from my human self. So I had this period of 1.5 years where I was completely disconnected from my sexual energy, and I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know why it was happening. I just thought that, well, maybe this is me healing from my sexual trauma. I just didn't know. I thought I was broken. I thought something was wrong because it just kind of turned off one day. And I didn't realize that it was because I had taken on these belief systems that in order to be spiritual, I needed to be and act a certain way. And while this wasn't coming from a conscious state, these beliefs existed within my subconscious mind that were then feeding my actions. So because of the shame around my sexuality, I literally separated into two different people. And there was a part of me that was this spiritual persona, and then there was a part of me that I locked away that was my sexual persona. And I kept having these visions that would come of this version of myself being trapped in a cage, and I didn't know what it was, but it just kept happening. And I was like, what is this? What is this? And when I transitioned out of my partnership, is when my sexual energy completely turned back on, and I had realized that that persona in the visions that I was having was actually my sexual energy feeling as if it was caged and it was being beaten because I was shaming myself for actually having sexual desires and for not at all listening to them and deeming them as wrong. So I didn't realize that these two different spiritual persona and sexual persona were at war with one another, and there was no integration. So when it came back online, I felt so unstable in myself because this was a lot of energy that had been repressed for a year and a half, and now it's lit back up, and I don't know how to control it because there's still that part of that spiritual side of me that's saying it's shameful, it's impure to have these types of desires. So what I really had to do was like learn how to bring them into it seems just like this open dialogue with one another of being like, hey, why do you think I'm wrong? Hey, why do you think I need to be a certain way in order to be spiritual? And just sitting with these questions and really allowing myself to drop into what it means to be a spiritual yet highly sexual individual. And knowing that it's okay to be both.
Yes. Welcome to AwakenSex, because it feels really yummy. To recognize and we honor what's inside of us and the urgence, you know, because we have this animal body. I heard you mention earlier too that we have this reptilian brain, you know, and it's not that it's bad or wrong, because I don't want to label, but it's how we survive though. And this animal body is instinctual, and it knows how to feed, you know, if it's hungry, if it's tired, you know, it's natural response for survival. It also knows how to feel, and I do primal plays. You got into that a little bit in the workshop. So journey to primal body, I call it, is turning off turning off the mind that wants to control the body, really letting go and noticing that the body can feel and navigate without the mind, and it can go into a journey. And this journey is this like amazing idea. It's actually pleasure. It's a journey of pleasure, because our body is tuned for pleasure. It's one of the gifts of being human. But the human part is we can be conscious of our pleasure. So that's something interesting too, right? Because we have this animal body and we're in this human experience. So that's the intellect, that's the way that we can actually process what you've been doing. Parts of yourself, how do you become more whole and integrate? And that's the beauty. And so we can actually have conscious fucking. It's possible. So we can direct our energy. We have conscious ability on how we navigate and move this energy, but we have to give it permission. So we have to tap into sometimes that animal body, that reptilian nature, to remind ourselves that we're in this animal body because we've shut off the lower chakras, which is the animal part of ourselves. And it needs to come, how do we integrate and come into this union, which is the path of Tantra, is weaving and allowing ourselves to be an instrument of expansion. Our own evolution,
I think it comes down to curiosity and playfulness and really allowing ourselves to want what we want and being okay with wanting what we want.
Being okay, that permission card.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling you have that right now.
Yes, for sure. I feel like I'm just in this new stage of understanding myself and what it means to go with the ebbs and flow of my sexual and creative energy and to honor each expression that I am wanting to express in each moment. And not judging myself for where I'm at or where my curiosities are or for where I want to explore. Because I feel like there's so much that we all as individuals can explore in life. And what is life about other than exploring?
That's why we're alive. I mean, for me, it's like we're alive to make mistakes, to understand that, wow, how perfectly human that is.
Yeah.
We call it, you know, that's the journey of being human. To say, oh, you know, to ride the waves, the ebbs and flows, and the seasons remind us of that.
Yeah.
You know, for me, we're going into darkness. That's the season of winter, and it's okay to drop in and go inside. It's your time to go inside, to self-reflect. So you can be with yourself, to be like, oh, this is who I am. This is what I've done in the world so far. What's next?
Yes, what's next? I like
and
that.
What's next for you? I think I birthed something else that you're doing on Facebook. Do you want to share?
Yes, you did. So she has definitely inspired this next project that I'm working on. I'm doing a 10-week erotic creative writing poetry course where we're going to be using meditation, sound healing, and breath work to really drop the sisterhood into what our creative energy feels like, what our sensual energy feels like, and how we can express that in the most erotic, turned-on way. And really allowing us to feel safe in that expression. So it is a all sisters group where we'll really just be diving into and exploring what erotica means to us and what our boundaries are, what our edges are, and how we can see if some of these edges are worth pushing through or if some of these are hardcore no's, and really just going with that and seeing where it takes us in a safe, non-judgmental container. And I'm so excited.
So delicious. The freedom to go into that place of eroticism, to me, is the full package. It's the full experience of what it means to be human. Because you can be allowing yourself to channel, you know, because you can be a channel, you can be transmitting, you can connect to the earth, you can feel your spirit, you know, the spiritual side of you. But then you can also tap into that animal urges and the lust and what really feels good. But eroticism is arousal. Whatever rouses your senses. It makes you feel more alive, whatever that may be. And giving yourself a safe place to explore that. And fantasy, you know, does go part of it. And fantasy is your imagination. And that's also a gift to being human. You know, we have it in our dreams. I mean, men wake up with their heart on. I've had some wet dreams, and that's really erotic. I wake up going, wow, I allowed myself to orgasm as I go from the waking world, you know, into the waking world, but taking my dreams into my reality, into my life, and that's very erotic. If you have never, Adam, so much about eroticism, so much we can share. But I want you to give your info, so tell me, so everybody will know, and I also will put it on the video. So how will they find you? Okay, so you can find me on Facebook. My Facebook page is Kaluna Kiato, and my website is www.kalunakiato.com. I'm still working on it and revamping it. It's been a little bit, but yes. How do you spell, to make sure everybody knows Kaluna, how do you spell the whole thing? So it's Kaluna, Kiato. Kaluna Kiato. Kiato. And so honored, sister, soul sister, erotic cheerleader, cosmic. She liked that one.
I love that one.
Evolutionary ally. Let's see what magic we can continue to weave and create. And whatever you do for yourself, and whenever you give yourself that permission, the whole world receives it.
Yes!
So
thank you.
Much love. I love you.
I love you.
You're so awesome. Wrap. It's a wrap. Number 1, episode 1. So we ended here, right?
Yeah.